Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have a very special video for you because this is something that I actually play. You know, a few videos ago I made a video about this opening, the License Gambit, and that just kind of made me question, what if I just give you my whole opening repertoire and you can work with that. So basically what I like to do is I like to play knight f3. I start with this, and in this kind of series I will be covering d5, c5, knight f6, I already covered f5, and yeah, that's about it. There are different lines in every opening, of course, but basically what I like to do is I like most people under like 2000 will definitely play this, I think, and this is where most of your games will come. You will play like some sort of Catalan, definitely. But the reason why I don't like the Catalan in like a normal move order is because this is a line, for example, the open Catalan. It's very annoying. So I like playing knight f3 first, and today for the first episode I would like to cover d4, which is, like the engine says, the best move. So here I like to play e3. b4 also an option, but e3 is very much simpler. Actually, in my games I play b4, but I recommend e3 because it's very much simpler, and like there are basically like two options here, knight c6 and c5. Like, let's say knight c6. Let's start with this. The idea of knight c6 is to kind of play against this d-pawn here, which you can immediately do as this has to be played, like here. And like the engine says that black is even a little bit better here. But after d3, knight f6, bishop e3, queen d8, and h3, c6, bishop e2, I don't see any advantage for black. Like on a practical level, like it's completely fine. You can play d4. In like these hypermodern positions, this is very difficult to kind of put in theory. You just kind of have to understand them. And I mean, you can play f4 even. Like, you just kind of have to get a feel for things and when things should be played. But here you definitely have some nice plans and definitely some winning chances. Like, let's say black chooses a line like this, and you basically go for the same thing, except here I search up a cool line for y'all, g4. The idea is that the idea is just to open the g file, obviously, and to play something like queen f3. And even though this looks kind of good for black because the rook is in here, knight to b5, and you can get a lot of ready positions like this where it looks like black is doing good because he has like some pieces here or whatever, but black's king can be quite unsafe in the ready if black spends too many tempis moving a center pawn, or let's say like making stupid piece moves and stuff like that. So in total, I definitely don't mind playing this line at all as white, because like you just have a simple game. I mean, f4, maybe d4, maybe you can you have some queen side play, you have king side play, you just have a normal chill game. I mean, it's no like advantage opening, but it's like I guarantee you, if you're like under 2000, no one is going to play this against you. I've never had this even once in like a blitz game or something. Nobody plays this. Most people on move 1 play knight f6 or c5, but if they play d5, they mostly decline it or play this next variation, which I'm going to show you now, which is the main topic of this video, c5. I guarantee you everybody's going to play this. b4. Obviously they can't really take here because of this, and this is just like very strong. You have this huge center. It's kind of like a Sveshnikov center you have here with the double pawns. So basically what they either do is they decline the gambit, or they, well, accept the gambit. This is how it goes. d4. Immediately you can see some plans here. The plan is basically to have compensation on the queen side. Many plans include maybe c5 here. The knight can come to e5, but like what it's all going to be about is these pawns here. And a3 is often a plan, and if white just doesn't get sufficient compensation against this, it's probably over. You might notice this is kind of like a Benko gambit, just that white is a tempo more and actually has central space, unlike in a Benko. So like if black just plays e6 here, very passively, simply bishop d3, castles, and if a5, bishop b2 and a3, and if takes here, basically knight takes, and this is very good for white. I mean, very, very good. Like, the queen can maybe come here. I can see a future for the knight here. I can see a future for the knight here, especially, and this is just an amazing... You don't have to rush anything. You can have, like, positions where it's maybe even unclear for you, but this is an amazing position. Like, you just have to play a normal game. Like, just imagine you are in the pawn down, and this is just a normal position. Just play it that way. Like, let's say this pawn, let's say it was just equal material, yeah? Just play it that way. Obviously, you do have to create something, or else you're just going to lose, but just play normally. No need to, like, play fast. Just play simply, improve your pieces, and eventually, trust me, you will regain one of these pawns. Yeah, I mean, they don't have to play a bad line with e6. They can play something like knight f6, which is a better line, and bishop g4. This is the engine best, with the idea of check. You trade the queens, a3, now knight takes, and this is again the position, knight b5, and maybe like h3, and then this. Yeah. Obviously, like bishop f5 here. Not obviously, and this is the best engine choice. The idea by the engine is that he wants to fight for control over this e4 square, put a knight here, and then get active compensation for white's pieces here. This is also a very frequent idea, not just in the Blumenfeld gambit, but in every ready line, is after b4 obviously, is to trade off these bishops here, because even though knight on the rim is dim, it's actually a very good knight. Because this knight can come to b5, maybe to d6, this knight can come to d6 via this. And let's say you even have the bishop here, like in another line, just an example. This would be very, very strong, like restricting this, putting a knight behind it, and kind of like maneuvering and attacking this pawn, yeah. So this is definitely what you should do. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to just sit here and give you lines, because that is not going to lead anywhere. If you want to play this, you should already kind of like have a feel for these types of position, because they can be very difficult, because if you're not careful, like black is just going to get active pieces, more space, and just have an attack on you. So you definitely have to be careful. But it's a very fun position, and it's not that hard. Like I'm dragging it a little bit, but yeah, you should definitely have a feel, kind of like a natural feel for these positions. So now let's come to if they actually decline the gambit. There are basically like a few options. No, there's only one option. What am I talking about? Knight f6. This is the only good move. Knight f6 is just going to be met by b5. So knight f6 is the only move. Here I recommend a3. Now you might notice that a lower level engine is not going to like this, but it is the best move probably. What am I saying? Probably it is the best move. I mean, literally Gukesh played this in a World Championship match, so they'll show you something. Ding actually in the World Championship match responded bishop g4, take, and h3. And the idea here is that even though black looks very passive, in a few moves he's going to get very active. So just watch. And here, black is officially activated. This knight can come to e4 and maybe even to c3, so that like white has to be kind of careful about that. White is definitely going to put a knight on c4. That looks amazing. Even though I just think that's a good idea, and maybe even reroute the bishop to b3, and that looks kind of good. Having the bishop here, like he just basically has constant pressure against this pawn. Queen is up. I mean, black. I would rather have white probably here in this position, definitely. But black definitely has something, and you can't just expect to have the most easy positions in the ready. That's just not how it goes at all. So yeah, I mean, this is obviously a fine position for white, a good position, I would even say. I mean, here you have a lot of central space, queenside space. This is kind of the ordeal in these positions. Like this pawn is going to be ass, but this pawn is going to be weak, and maybe this pawn is basically going to be a huge strength for black or a huge weakness. But black has to play accordingly. So definitely queenside expansion here is on the horizon, because if we don't, black is going to just have insane central play with this, and you have to act quickly. But yeah, I mean, this line is good definitely for white. It's a great line. Let's look at another line, which is e6 here. Just defending this pawn, kind of. Here you just take, and I play bishop b2, a5. And again here, this is like kind of weird position. I mean, here you can even take. Against this a5, there aren't like rules, so to say, because it's definitely always different. That's what I'm saying. Like, you need to have a fundamental understanding of these positions. For example, here, if a5, which I wanted to show you after knight f6, a5 immediately. Now you go b5. So you just kind of have to know it. Like, you just need to know this. Like, this line, it looks very, very good for black. I mean, black is going to get his bishop out. Black maybe is going to reroute his knight and get this other bishop out. But white actually has good compensation when you realize that this bishop is going to be on this diagonal. And yeah, I mean, someone who is more a traditional chess player might see here a lot of space, pieces, and so. But someone who's more modern and someone who has played a lot of modern chess openings might see the bishop opening up, the knight going to an advantageous square, this knight rerouting, this bishop from here maybe, stuff like that. And here again, like, in a lot of these positions, like let's say this knight isn't here, like you can play f4. You definitely have to calculate it, obviously, because you don't want to give black this insane strength here. But like in these kind of positions, you can definitely do stuff like this. Yeah, I mean, pawn breaks, always good in modern chess openings. Rerouting your pieces onto more active squares, always good in openings, period. And yeah, so let's look at the last line of this video, which is knight to c6. b5, knight to a5, d3, e3, no, d3, takes, b6, g3, bishop b7. Actually already not that good. Black here plays g6, and you might say, like, if he doesn't play g6, if he develops his bishop here, then you might think that white is completely better, which is true. So he has to get counterplay like this on this rook here. And this is already kind of annoying. You have to play rook a2, which looks very bad. It's really not that bad, because you get your rook immediately into the d file. Knight g4, knight h4, and this is a game. This is a complete fair game. This kind of, like, you don't play the Reti to get an opening advantage, like when you play the Italian or you play the Spanish or the Queen's Gambit. But you play this opening to confuse your opponents, for one. And you also play this opening to get an imbalanced position. That's why Vishy Anand played it, Kramnik played it, Magnus played it, Kasparov played it, because they want an imbalanced position and they want a cool position. They mostly played it in blitz, but I mean, we are not super GMs. Our opponents are not prepped like them. They will probably not play g6, bishop g7. And you will probably just have an amazing game in this opening. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, as always. And next time, we're going to continue the series probably with some other variations in the Reti, probably c5 on knight f6. So if you want to be an amazing chess player and have a cool opening repertoire, then definitely tune in, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye.